We've got Ashank Desai, who is a VC and MD Mastek, as well as Mishra, Senior Director Analyst at Gartner. Thank you both so much for taking time out and joining in. Mr. Desai, I just want to understand, after having flagged off a lot of muted growth concerns, deal win momentum perhaps slowing down, I'm talking for the IT sector broadly, what really is fueling this move within the IT space?
So, thanks for inviting me here. It is very nice to be at ET. Good morning to all your viewers. So, few things which have been uncertain over last 2 or 3 quarters seem to be melting in a very slow way. That's the way I would put it. So, for example, there is this whole issue of US recession, and what would happen to that is one point which was coming up. Now that Fed has said they are unlikely to raise any interest, and also there doesn't seem to be any slowdown indicators in US economy by vacancy of jobs or growth results of the IT companies and so on. So there is a positive mood that it won't be as worse as it was thought 2-3 quarters ago. So that's point one. Point two is all the IT companies really have booked large number of orders over even last 2 or 3 quarters. Although the performance on the revenue was not high, the order booking performance was quite good. And some of that will now get translated into the revenues after in the coming quarters. So that is second reason. And third reason, of course, is overall there is a positive, what should I say, mood that IT is driving the economy, and we need to again re-energize it. So I would put all these 2-3 reasons together.
Mr. Desai, good morning. Nikunj also joining in. Now, I just want to put a simple fact out. IT companies are getting orders. If I look at the TCV or the deal wins, the orders are coming.
Yes.
But orders are taking a lot of time for translate or to perhaps come into revenue stream. So if I'm an IT, let's say client, I would say that मैं order दे रहा हूँ, मगर order start नहीं कर रहा हूँ. Why is there so much of confusion?
Question to whom?
Mr. Desai, it's for you.
I see. Okay. So it is like this. We must understand the nature of the orders also when they come in. If the nature of the orders that you have got are of a longer time duration, you see, each of these orders, when they come, they have time for the execution. When you get an order, sometimes you get an order which has to be executed in 1 year. Sometimes you get a 5-year contract which has to be executed. We also get it. Both we get it. If your order booking is more going to be as a longer term driven, then the execution will not be seen immediately in next 2 or 3 quarters. That's a fact. That's one. Second, as you also said, I agree that if there is some uncertainty in the minds of the CIOs, they may not accelerate the execution of even existing order. That's true. To some extent, that is also true. So both of these reasons are important to decide what will happen to the orders.
Mr. Mishra, I want to get you in on the discussion as well. While the equity markets, of course, are doing what they're doing with the IT stocks, what's the reality on ground? I mean, come the January earnings, can we see any glimmer of hope? I mean, can we see client spends actually see an uptick coming in? What's the prediction for 2024 like?
So good morning and thanks for having me here. And I have been very consistent in telling that 2024 will be the return of growth. And from a Gartner perspective, we have been forecasting the IT services growth for quite a long time. And every quarter we revise our growths. And I have been observing very closely our forecast, which we have made, and we see that 10% around growth on IT services spending. End user spending is going to happen, and that is going to remain consistent for next 2 to 3 years. So we see a very positive mood at this point in time from IT services perspective. There is no reason for much of concern. And of course, there are certain things which we need to keep in mind. And I agree with Mr. Desai that when he said that there has been some sort of conservativeness. In the IT sector, the change fatigue has been there for a very long time. And this is something new, which I'm going to tell you, that what we are seeing, that CIOs and CEOs and CTOs are actually scrutinizing their IT spend more closely. And until and unless they see that real business case of value coming out of it, they are a little bit hesitant to make that particular spend. Of course, the economic turbulence, geopolitical uncertainty, supply chain disruptions, and inflation and skill shortages are also trying to slow it down to a certain extent. But having said so, we see that overall, the IT services spend is going to be nearly in double digit, which we have not seen in decades.
Factoring in the disruption, Mr. Mishra, which could come in because AI, does your model capture that?
So yes, the disruptions which can be caused by the AI, and maybe you are referring, AI is not new. AI has been there for donkey's years now. What is new is the impact of generative AI, which you may be referring to. Now, generative AI is something new. It is emerging, it is evolving, and we don't know what we don't know yet. And there are not many serious players in this particular space who have their skin in the game. And what we have seen so far, that there are not many use cases which has gone to the production stage, bearing few. And we are yet to actually observe a real business value coming out of it. So next 2 years, there is no big concern for the IT services companies, but I'm more worried about what is going to happen after 2 years from now.
Mr. Desai, there is good old debate on what will happen to the core IT model. Now, there is a thought which says that, look, Indian IT companies have a model which is a model centered around outsourcing, centered around manpower, who write codes, and that's how billing starts. Guess what? AI is going to change everything, and the whole concept of billing per employee is going to change. Is that a real fear, Mr. Desai, that the core IT services model will have to be rebooted really from a client standpoint, and that will have impact on the way how future margins and business is calculated, Mr. Desai?
See, you have to look at the whole IT portfolio of IT industry today. It includes, of course, ITES, which is BPO companies. And then there are IT companies who, like all of us, who build applications. Within applications, again, there are multiple strands. There is a strand which is about new application development and discretionary spend. Then there is an implementation of large products like ERP systems, like CRM systems, and so on. Then there is a third strand, which is about basically maintaining the old code. Now, the whole impact of AI, if at all there, is going to be only in that first area of application development. And application development will have impact in terms of productivity gains of AI. And obviously, some of the requirements will see higher productivity and lesser number of people and so on. But its overall impact is going to be positive. I'll tell you why. What really happens is, and I have seen IT industry for the last 40 years, any productivity improvement that happens in software development creates more demand for applications, which is more than loss in hours because of productivity. So it has always been a positive cycle. A person like me who had done, coding based on the punch cards some 40 years ago, it used to take so long a time, and now it takes 1/100th of that time. But programmers needed are 100 times more than what, or 1,000 times more. So the point I'm making is productivity gain is generally a positive indicator. So I don't see some cataclysmic impact on the IT industry. Yes, there will be some short-term issues that we need to sort out in terms of some of the things that you have said. I'm not ruling that out. But in overall longer-term gains, I do strongly feel that productivity will improve the demand for new applications. And I'm seeing it. Customers are right now asking for applications to be built around AI, which we would not have done without AI. AI makes it possible now. In the healthcare industry that we are very active, we are talking of customer servicing requirement. Now, I would have done it without AI, but it would have taken a long time and they were not wanting to spend that much money. But now they are saying, oh, you can do it better, faster. So there is a positive impact of productivity improvement, is the point I make.
Mr. Mishra, just wanted to get in your take then in terms of the nature of deal wins. Do you think that that it's largely going to be large cap or niche mid cap?
Whom are you
So,
asking?
I'm asking Mr. Mishra.
yeah, so actually, I would not divide it into large cap and mid cap, but I would actually discuss the nature of the deals more. And what we have seen that, large deal make much bigger noise. But is it a reality that we are having too many large deals at this point in time? The answer is no. We still see that, the deals which are kind of mid-sized deals and best of breed providers are being aligned to the specific bundles, and that way, multi-source deals are more of a reality at this point in time. Over a period of time, will it shift to much more bigger, large deals? On total outsourcing, is it going to are the total outsourcing contracts going to return? I'm not very sure about this at this point in time, looking at the trend, but we need to keep an eye on it. But having said so, at this point in time, I often get calls from end customers that, can you tell us more providers who are not represented in some of our reports like Magic Quadrants? And that is a kind of reality where we have to share a large number of options and the range of options to our end customers, where they try to look at more flexible and more agile players who can do the job for them, because agility and flexibility are becoming more key, along with the competitiveness in terms of the cost as well. So these are some of the shifts which we have seen. We have also seen that the shorter term deals, 3 years, are more common. 3+1+1 is more relevant at this point in time. And these kind of deals which are taking shape at this point. We have also seen that role of a service integrator and MSI player or a SIAM player, service integration and management, is becoming more and more important. And a lot of SIAM players are now getting a lot of businesses, and around 25% of the deals which we have seen are revolved around service integration and management. So there are, shifts which are happening, and these shifts have been happening for last 1 decade. And this is going to continue as we see more complexity in deals and more complex environment coming up, which is going to shape up the future of IT services.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you for giving us a lot more clarity and perspective as to what the deal wins, the overall impact of AI is going to have, as well as the outlook for the IT sector as a whole. It's been good having you on board. All right.